Abroad Pod with James Davis.
Hello, listener, and thank you so much for joining us on the Teaching Abroad Pod, coming at you on October 20th. I'm your host, James Davis, and with me this week is my co-host, Rowan Lomas from the Oxford Seminars Job Placement Service. With that, welcome to episode 14 of the Teaching Abroad Pod. On today's show, we're going to be talking all things South Korea with Patricia Persaud, who just returned there after several years of teaching. It's pretty amazing how much Korea is influencing the world these days, from, BTS, K-pop to Parasite and other films, and now Squid Game dominating TV. Perhaps the most surprising one is the influence of Korean language. It's recently made its way into the Oxford English Dictionary. 20 new Korean words have been added as of the September update. So this is really, a high time for Korean culture in general. And this got us thinking about some of the best Korean TV and film that we've seen over the years. So Rowan, can you kick us off? What have you been watching? What do you recommend?
Hey, James. I've definitely been watching my share of Korean television. And in fact, I just watched the first episode, finally, of Squid Game.
Nice.
So I can see why Netflix is billing it as possibly the biggest show ever. It's very intriguing, but certainly not a game show for the faint of heart. It's kind of like a mix of Hunger Games and Survivor, and it touches on class inequality, desperation of people living in poverty, and the lengths they'll go while trying to escape it. So, riveting stuff. And there are definitely some similar elements, I find, to the Best Picture Oscar winner Parasite in that sense.
Yeah, I don't think it can be a coincidence that, they're both as popular as they are and they're dealing with these issues. I think they've really hit a nerve there. I'm not as reserved as you. I've binged straight through Squid Game. Absolutely brilliant show. Was completely hooked. Loved Parasite as well. It was really, really, really satisfying to see Bong Joon-ho, the director, get the Oscar, not just because it annoyed Donald Trump. I mean, that was just a bonus, but he's made so many great movies over the years that it was nice to see him, get his moment in the sun. So, yeah, I think beyond Squid Game, beyond Parasite, though, I think there's a lot more out there for people to take a look at.
Yeah, for sure. The other one that really comes to mind for me was probably the first Korean film I had ever seen. And this goes back to the action thriller Old Boy from way back in 2003. And I didn't even know this at the time, but apparently it was the second part in a three-part Vengeance trilogy, and was preceded by Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance and followed by Lady Vengeance. So I'm now tempted to go watch the rest of this trilogy, which I'm told can be experienced independently of each other, but certainly, harkens back to the dark and grimy times of cinema of the decade, and definitely something I would recommend people check out if they haven't already.
Yeah, those movies, they're a trilogy, but it's very loose. They're all just by the same director, Park Chan-wook, and they have similar themes, but yeah, definitely Old Boy is the most popular and well-known, but they're all fantastic movies. Other recommendations, I think my favorite ever Korean movie is called Memories of Murder, and that's another Bong Joon-ho movie. That's about kind of maybe the most well-known serial killer case in South Korea. It's not really something that they've experienced too many times, but this movie goes into it in a great detail. It's really good.
So it's a bit of nonfiction?
Kind of, yeah. It blurs the lines, I'm sure. Takes some liberties, but it's weirdly a funny movie, if you can call it that. It's just, I don't know, it deals with some very serious topics, but it's also charming. The lead actor is Kang Song-ho, who's the dad in Parasite. So, he's good in everything. He was in another Bong Joon-ho movie, The Host, which is a kind of a monster movie, and that's also excellent. And Kang Sung-ho is also in another movie, this time not by Bong Joon-ho, called A Taxi Driver, which takes a look at the Gwangju massacre in the 70s. Any other recommendations from you, Rowan?
Well, I guess on the theme of Bong Joon-ho, I'd give an honorable mention to Snowpiercer, which was a Korean-American co-production, and it features some top Hollywood heavyweights like Chris Evans, Tilda Swinton, Ed Harris. Definitely an action-filled ride. I definitely enjoyed that one when it came out a few years back.
Nice. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else not Bong Joon-ho related. I think if you've watched Squid Game and you want more gore, you should try Train to Busan, which is the zombie movie that was pretty popular. If you have watched Squid Game and you saw the handsome guy in the suit playing Dakji and slapping the main guy across the face, he's the dad in Train to Busan. He's really good. That's his name's Gong Yu. So check out Train to Busan as well.
Sounds good.
So I think that is enough geeking out for one episode on Korean pop culture. You can now take a look at our interview with Patricia and see some of her top tips for things to do in South Jeolla province and beyond. But first, a word from our sponsor.
With Oxford Seminars, starting your new career teaching ESL couldn't be easier. Oxford Seminars has trained more than 70,000 teachers over the past 20 years, and you could be next. Their comprehensive 120-hour program starts with live instruction from an experienced ESL teacher, followed by convenient online modules. If your goal is to relocate overseas or even teach from the comfort of your own home, Oxford Seminars' renowned lifetime job placement service will get you where you want to be. Call 1-800-779-1779 by October 22nd and give the code POD1020 to get $50 off your Oxford Seminars TESOL course price when paying in full. If you're too late, don't worry, there'll be another code in the next episode. Now back to the show.
We are now joined by 2018 Oxford Seminars grad, Patricia Persaud. Patricia has earned a social services diploma and an honours Bachelor's of Applied Science degree in family and community social services. She worked for a number of years in the field of social services before taking a job in the public school system in Korea in 2018, where she was until earlier this year. So welcome to the pod, Patricia.
Okay, thank you.
Patricia, what got you started and interested in teaching English? It's very different from, the social services.
Well, I've seen a lot of blogs and videos about people teaching English overseas, and I always thought it would be a cool thing to, get involved in a different culture and have that experience. So then I saw it became a little bit more common, more people were going, and then one day I said, I'm going to give it a try just to see what it would be like for a year and see how I like it.
And was there any was it Korea that made you want to take that leap into teaching English? Was it that culture in particular, or?
Well, originally I wanted to go to Latin America. It's close to home. I like the culture. And I saw Korea gave a lot of really good benefits, and also ease of traveling around while in Korea was really great. So I decided to do Korea.
So I see you had the pleasure of living in Jeollanam-do. Could you tell us about your experience in that province?
Well, when I first applied, I had first said, okay, maybe I wanted to go to Busan. And then I got Jeollanam-do. I said, oh, I wonder if it's going to be something I wouldn't really like, but I actually really loved it. It's like so many things with nature and different things to do. So I came for 1 year and ended up staying 3 years because I loved it so much.
Was this with EPIC?
Yes, and then so I applied through EPIC and then got placed in the JLP, the Jeollanam-do program, which is a separate program but has the same benefits as EPIC, and like I had a really great time.
Fantastic. So I'm guessing you went to Gwangju quite often.
I actually ended up getting to live in Gwangju, but then commuting to my town. So I had a really good benefit because a lot of people ended up in maybe a small town, but I actually got to live in Gwangju, and my school was about 40 minutes away. So I commuted every day, but it was nice living in the city and working in the country. You got to see the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I feel like Gwangju is very underrated as a city, especially as a foreigner. I felt like Gwangju was so like so many things kind of to help with maybe homesickness. There's lots of nice restaurants, and yeah, it's a fantastic place for expats. Was there anywhere in particular you loved to go in Gwangju?
Yes, I actually went to a few restaurants and bars there. They actually had a Canadian restaurant there, so whenever I felt like eating Western food, there was a place to go. And one thing I liked about Gwangju is that they have a strong community, and in Korea, everyone's so connected. So it was really nice having like a lot of music events. I played the piano, so I perform at some of the restaurants. So it was really nice.
Nice. And apart from Gwangju, is there anything else in South Jeolla that people should check out?
I think the one thing is the Bosong green tea field. I actually went a few times. I really like it. Last year they opened up close to Mokpo, Purple Island. So it's purple bridges. It's a whole island that has things that are purple. Everyone really likes it. And then I think anywhere that has nice parks when it's the cherry blossom season, or right now for fall, they have really great flowers all around. And I think anything nature related, it's such a great place.
You mentioned Mokpo. That's about the only city I really remember visiting in Jeollanam-do. And we actually went to this live seafood restaurant. Did you ever try that in Mokpo?
No, I haven't tried that.
Okay, well, just word of advice or word of caution, I guess. Probably do some research on cooking shellfish if you ever do that. 'Cause they kind of just gave us the shellfish and whatnot and some hot rocks to put them on, and we watched them squirm around and hiss. And when they stopped squirming and hissing, we were kind of like, oh, I guess those are done. And then I ate them, and then I was very ill for like 2 days. It was not a great start to my trip to Jeju. So word to the wise, be careful when cooking at a raw seafood restaurant in Mokpo.
Oh, wow. You're more adventurous than me. I need to try that next time.
Now, apart from Jeollanam-do, did you do any other traveling throughout the country or just on the continent in general? If so, what were some of the highlights for you?
In the first year that I was there, I went to so many festivals in the country. As I saw, there was almost a festival every week. So flower festival, lights festival, like any kind of festival. So whatever festival in different cities I would usually go to. And one thing I liked about Korea was when there would be maybe like a 4-day weekend, or the Lunar New Year or something, I would go away for some small vacations. Like sometimes I would go to Vietnam for 4 days, and the ease of traveling once you're physically in Asia is like you realize how close everything is.
Awesome. So what would you say was your highlight from a travel abroad from Korea?
In Korea, I think it was just in different areas in Korea is so nice. Like you can go to Jeju and go to the beach, and then you can go somewhere else and see a mountain. And it was really nice, like to see different landscapes and different scenery. It was really nice. Change of scenery other than seeing what I'm used to seeing at home. So it really, opens you up. And, I still remember all the places I've been to.
And did you get to go to Busan, at least to visit?
Oh, yes. I've been a few times. I actually really love that too.
Yeah, that's good. And then with that, I think that people don't realize like the ease for some reason Korea to Vietnam is such a great vacation. Like I did that a few times. Did you whereabouts in Vietnam did you end up going?
I went to Hanoi.
Wonderful. Did you do Ha Long Bay?
Yes, that was my purpose for going, because that was one of my bucket lists. But it was great being so close to everything.
Yeah. Oh, that was just a spectacular place. Like going to because Hanoi itself is wonderful, the history, but Halong Bay is just another experience, I feel like.
Yeah, it was.
And so you ended up being in Korea for 3 years. And you've been back less than a year now. So what are you missing about Korea? Is it the food? Is it the lifestyle? Is there any, or is it nice to be back and you had your time there?
I'm actually missing the weather quite a bit, even though there's the weather is, you get really hot summers, but I love the weather in Korea, that even in October, the weather's pretty mild. And, the one thing I like is that, the lifestyle there is really nice. They have the good community and the good expat community, and being able to meet up with people is really nice. So I look forward to my weekends when I can hang out with my friends or, do different things. So I really miss that. Whereas here back home, I think it's a lot more busy, and I think you're not really getting to slow down and notice a lot of things. But in Korea, it's like you get to actually really enjoy your life, I think.
Yeah, I think because of everything, I find that because the every day is slightly more difficult because of the language or different things, that you do have to, everything takes time and you have to be very mindful of everything. So I'd never thought of it like that, how, it does force you to be in the moment a little bit more and not let things like days pass on by.
Yes.
And I guess, as we are a teaching abroad podcast, we shouldn't just talk about the travel and the fun stuff. How was your overall experience with EPIC?
I had a really good experience. I taught middle school, and I have a co-teacher that helps me with anything I needed, and I actually ended up forming a good relationship with the school. Even though there was a lot of language barrier, you can still communicate with them, and it was really the kids are really good. They were so interested in learning about where I'm from. They want to learn things about, Halloween is coming up right now, so they wanted to know, what do you do for Halloween? And they take an interest in wearing costumes, and they always ask questions about where I'm from in Canada. And overall, it was a really good experience. The school was pretty supportive of me also. And, when I left, I actually was really sad and, hope to actually go back one day and visit.
Even though for me, it's been quite a while since I was in Korea, but still, my wife and I just have such a fondness for the food. We're still ordering, bibimbap or bulgogi, things like that, probably once a week. Is there anything that you just can't let go? You're going to be going out and ordering at local restaurants?
Oh, my one weakness in Korea was their fried chicken. I tell everyone about it. I said, you don't know what the fried chicken until you get to Korea, and you do something fun. Like for me, the first time I had it was I went to a baseball game, and baseball games in Korea is so much fun, and you can order fried chicken, and it ended up becoming my guilty pleasure once a week.
But there's so many introduced to Kyochon chicken. We got delivery to our seats at the stadium at a baseball game.
It's pretty good, huh?
Absolutely.
So are you a big Kia Tigers fan? Is that the team?
I actually lived very close to the stadium, maybe about 5 minutes away. And I would always see it when, even coming back on the bus, the stadium lights are on. And yeah, it was pretty exciting. My first baseball game there, and, the kids were all doing the dance moves and all these cheers, and that was really fun. But I love baseball games in Korea.
I think people are shocked about how affordable and easy it is to go. If you try and get MLB tickets or anything like that, it's so expensive, and everything in the stadium so expensive. But in Korea, it's couldn't be easier to get tickets and bring in food and have a good time. I feel like it's a world away from professional sports in the West.
Oh, for sure.
And so, despite the travels and adventures and everything, were you able to save money? Like, what was were there other benefits, I guess, to being in Korea?
I think saving money was really good because one thing I liked about being in Korea, you can actually do things like eat out, and it's not a lot of money, or you can do things that are fun and it still doesn't break the bank. Like, I think I found that I was able to actually enjoy my lifestyle there, can eat at some restaurants but still save money every month. Like, I think I could manage it a lot better in Korea than in Canada. And because our apartment was also covered, it makes a huge difference because rent is, usually a huge expense. So yeah, I found that I could save a lot of money while being in Korea.
We've heard you might be heading off to a completely different teaching destination in the not too distant future. So do you have any new adventures you're embarking upon you'd like to share with us?
Yes, so my next adventure is Latin America. So we'll be moving to Mexico. And actually, with the money that I've saved from Korea, I can actually afford to maintain a lifestyle in Latin America that would actually really help. So, Korea was a big help for future places. It doesn't have to be, Korea might not have to be their first choice, but if you want some help financially for where your money can actually stretch, it really gave a good benefit being there.
So you're going from Mexican chicken in Korea to Mexican chicken in Mexico.
Yes, I'll compare.
And probably your savings will buy a lot of chicken.
Yes.
Do you see, this is really, really nice for you. You're able to move from one country to another and continue teaching. So I guess I'm just wondering, do you see teaching abroad as kind of a long-term career path for, whether it's youth or people changing direction mid-career? Is this something people can do long-term in your mind?
I think so, because I think that there's so many more opportunities to teach English. I was in one job for 12 years. So I was in my career job, and then I've always wanted to teach abroad. And a lot of people think that, teaching English is maybe graduating college and going for a year, but there's so many people at different ages that did it, that they just decided that they want to change in life. I went at age 39, and I thought, okay, maybe I'm too much older to be going there. And then when I went there, I found people of all different ages. Some people wanted to change in their career and just wanted a new start and they really liked it. Or some people had a corporate job and said, yeah, I just wanted to change. And teaching has so many opportunities, and more that I saw that, you can do so many things in different countries, teaching online, different countries, teaching in person, tutoring. It's like a lot of opportunities. So I think there's a lot of things you can do long term.
And was that always the plan in the back of your mind to maybe, go to Korea where the pay is, a lot higher, and then use that money to kind of, fund other teaching adventures along the way? Or is it something that just happened that way?
It actually ended up being my plan. I said I was going to go to Korea for 1 year. I'm going to save some money, then I can go to Latin America. But I actually really loved my time in Korea, that I renewed more than once. So I was there for 3 years instead of 1. And now I feel a lot more prepared going to Latin America.
Nice. And was there a reason that you picked Mexico over Colombia, which was one of the places you'd mentioned like long ago?
I think also for distance, it's a lot closer to where I'm in Toronto, and I think Mexico has a lot more opportunities right now, I think, than Colombia, but Colombia still has a lot of opportunities too. So I was choosing between a few of them, and Mexico just happened to come up, and said, yeah, I really do want to go to Mexico. So that's what's next.
And I guess maybe this is a bit personal, but do you think this is your new career? So you had your career for 12 years and now you're teaching English, and this is kind of the thing you're pursuing, or are you keeping that open?
I think this is going to be the thing that I do pursue, because I think that there's a lot more opportunities in teaching instead of the social service field, and especially getting to, teach going to work and in a different country. Like you get to experience a different country, but still go to work. So it's actually a really nice change. And I think I want to continue doing it.
Nice. And, having taken the Oxford Seminars course and, been in contact with, Rowan, Alex and other members of the team, did that help what can be quite a scary situation, going from one career to another?
Oh, for sure. Like the teacher placement team was really helpful. I think they probably all know me by now because I'm always constantly emailing back and forth. They answer. It was hard to decide for different countries. So I've always asked questions about different countries, and the teacher placement team always, gets back to me. They always give me information. I'll ask for some advice of what kind of places are open. What are the contracts? They give me so many different options that it actually helped become clear.
That must have been even more beneficial given COVID. I mentioned that kind of must have put a spanner in the works in terms of your long-term planning.
Yes, for sure. Because COVID hit while I was in Korea. So even coming back, I know that I could have renewed another year, but because I asked what countries are open right now, Mexico seems to be one of the popular ones that are open, plus a country that I can go to. So, it took a little bit of planning, but yeah, I made it there.
And so, one final question that I wanted to ask Patricia. Perhaps you're better to answer this question than any other guest we've had, because, like you said, you had the one career in social services, and now you're teaching. And I think it's incredibly brave and to do what you've done. So, what would you say to someone who's at that point, whether like I've been doing something for a long time, or maybe I'm just at the start, I've just graduated university and they're thinking about teaching English as being the thing that they want to do? What would you say to those people?
I would say, just to give it a try. It could be 1 year of your life, or even if you started with a short-term contract, to just give it a try and see how you like it. Because that was my thinking before I left for Korea. I'm going to just go for a year, and then I'll see if I like it. And then if not, I can, apply to something else back home. But, I don't think it has to do with only the age thing. I think not only new graduates are great to go, also people who are mid-career who are just wanting a change. I think it's such a good thing. And you come back more with just, going away for a job. Like you learn a new culture, you learn how to, be on your own in a different country. I think I came back feeling a lot stronger and being able to handle a lot more things, especially in a foreign country. So I think, one should give it a try at least once to see how it is.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Patricia, for taking the time to chat to us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Best of luck.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah, best of luck in Mexico. We'd love to catch up and find out how that goes. So yeah, we'll be in touch for sure.
Okay, that sounds good.
Adios.
Thanks so much again to Patricia for taking the time to chat to us. She was a wonderful guest, and I'm sure we'll be speaking to her again in the future. Rowan, before we let everyone go today, can you tell us a little bit more about upcoming job opportunities in South Korea?
Good old Korea, still the most popular choice for our TESOL course graduates. And if you want to be going by February of next year, you should be applying now. Both the private language schools and public school programs are interviewing for the spring starts this month, and they'll be going fast. If you're too late for the big February intake, there will still be some Hagwon jobs opening in the months following, as well as the Gyeongnam and Cheongnam public school programs. But the school year starts in Korea in February, so that's definitely the best time to be aiming for when applying to Korea.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Rowan, for that update. And thank you, listener, for tuning in to the Teaching Abroad pod. We will be releasing new episodes every other Wednesday. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Remember, you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. If you have any great ideas, please let us know. Leave them in the comments on YouTube, or send us a message on social media. You can find us at Oxford Seminars on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Failing that, send us an email at teachingabroadpod@oxfordseminars.com. Have a great day.
See ya.